Ну вот, собственно, все. И
Все, держу. Окей, sorry, папа.
Роберт Гарсия, несколько вопросов. Так, Роберт, расскажите, помимо Данита Данея, какой ваш любимый еще боксер? То есть, смотри, кого он еще тренирует?
So everybody knows you're the coach for Danito, but do you have any other, from your point of view, very good perspective boxers? Like you personally like?
Nonito Gronera is one of my, I could say, world champions that I train. But I also train Antonio Margarito, who will be fighting Miguel Cotto December 3rd. On the same card with Miguel Cotto, we'll be fighting Brandon Rios, who's also my fighter. He's lightweight champion of the world. And October 22nd, on the same card with Nonito Gronera, I also train my younger brother, Mikey Garcia, who will be fighting on that same card. So I have a pretty good stable of fighters, and besides them, I have a lot of 4-round fighters, a lot of guys that are undefeated, that are 6-0, 12-0, that are getting up pretty good.
She said it's lots of rumors about relationship between you and your brother.
There has been a lot of talk about it lately. After they mentioned something on 24/7. They started talking about that when everybody found out and everybody wants to know something about it. But in reality, everything is okay. I haven't talked to my brother, but we don't have anything against each other. He's doing his work with his fighter. I got my gym, as you see. I have 50 kids, right now, so I don't have, I'm very busy. I travel a lot, so I hardly have any time to even see any of my brothers. I had very little time to see my mom, my sisters. So my brother Danny, same thing. We do have our differences because he's training a fighter that I used to train, and we've had our differences. But in reality, it's something that doesn't really, it's not that big. Like people make it big, it's not really that big.
Ты поняла, что? Окей.
Правда ли то, что они до сих пор не разговаривают?
Он только что сказал, да, я с ним не разговариваю.
Да?
Да, он только что сказал, что...
Мириться они не собираются?
And she's asking, everybody talking about you not even speak to each other, but if it's not a big deal, would you see in the future you together again, like a family?
We are brothers. You know what? We are brothers, and my dad, my mom, they want to see us. We're family, so they want to see the family together. It's been about three or 4 years. We do Christmas and Christmas. Everybody is together except for my brother, except for Danny. He's the only one that's not around. Father's Day, Mother's Day, we all go to my parents' house except for Danny. Danny doesn't go. So but we know that right now he was really busy with Victor Ortiz, and he has he has to be training his fighter, and we had our differences with Victor Ortiz. So that's why my brothers were basically taking Victor's side, but. As soon as Victor's career is done, we're gonna be brothers again. We are brothers. So we are. We were actually. I was being a very close family. So we'll get back. To normal. Just as soon as Victor's career is over.
Ну, просто говорит, что в принципе немножко это зависит от Виктора Ортиза, потому что говорит, вся семья здесь, кроме его брата. То есть брат сейчас стоит в стороне, потому что он типа стар. Но, говорит, однажды карьера Виктора Ортиза закончится, он уверен, что семья снова будет вместе. Я снимаю нормально.
Окей, хорошо. Значит, следующий вопрос. Его племянник Хавьер Гарсия. Что случилось 3 года назад?
Your nephew Javier Garcia, everybody talking about something happened like 3 years ago, and что случилось, like what?
После боя умер человек.
Yeah. How's he doing? Because everybody knows the story. Everybody knows the story about what's happened on a ring, like another boxer has died, and how he does he already accepted, get over it, and continued, or what is the situation? Do you think?
Okay, yeah, it's actually 3 years ago. 3 years ago, he had a fight. And, he was undefeated. He was 3-0 with 3 knockouts, and he fought. And it was a war. You know, they both him and his opponent, they fought a war. You know, it was a tough fight for both of them. And when the bell rang, it was a 6-rounder. When the bell rang, the last round, they hugged, and his opponent, right there in his arms, you know, collapsed, fell down, and passed away. It was very hard for my nephew. He wasn't the same after that. He lost 2 fights in a row after that, and we told him, you know, quit. You know, we don't want you to fight anymore. He didn't have the fire anymore, and I don't blame him. You know, it was very hard on him. You know, he was only 18, I believe, when that happened. So he was very young, and for something like that to happen to an 18-year-old, it was hard. So we went through therapy. We went through we brought him help, and it started working. And just recently, this year, he started training again. He started training and told me that he wanted to fight again. So I was very careful. I told him, you know, think about it. I talked to his mom, my sister, my dad, everybody in the family, and we said, you know, let's give him another chance, see how he reacts. So we got him a fight, and he looked pretty good. He looked, you know, he's very skillful. He's very talented. But when that happened 3 years ago, his mind wasn't there. He lost 2 fights in a row. But now he came back, and now he's had 3 fights. He's won all 3 by knockout. He wants to do it again, and he's doing it again, and he's doing it really good. But we still got to be very careful. Even though he already has 3 wins, 3 by knockout, we still got to be very careful, because we don't want him to. We don't want the same thing to happen again, or we definitely wouldn't want that to happen to him. So we got to be very careful with him. But he is looking good now, and it seems like he's back. He's ready now. We don't even talk about what happened 3 years ago, and he's training hard.
Что-то перевести из этого?
Нет, я все поняла.
Окей.
Когда планируется ключевой карьеры? Он же не может.
Ты не можешь чуть-чуть повторить? Я не слышу. Да, он только что рассказал, что он вернулся в бокс, что вернулся только в этом году. У него 3 уже боя было, все 3 нокаутом он победил. Но они стараются быть очень осторожны к нему, потому что он морально, для него было очень тяжелое это.
Скажи, вот его коммент именно вот того файта, это вина Еппери все-таки или нет?
She tried to understand just for herself this kind of fight, and when the other fighters dying, right? Is this a fault of referee, or is it just nobody would predict what's happened?
Oh, you know what? No, it was just something that happened. The fight was really close. Actually, after what happened, the judges, it was a draw. It was a draw. So that fight was a war. You know, both fighters were hitting each other. Nobody knew what was going to happen. You know, that kid was very tough. He took punches. He also hit my nephew. You know, they were both in a war. So it wasn't the referee's fault. It was nobody's fault. He came in and they both had a war. Something that happened. Only God knows why that happened. But the fight was very close. It was, like I said, it was actually a draw. It was a draw.
Поняла, да, что это была практически ничья, то есть даже рефери, говорит, нельзя винить рефери, потому что весь бой шел очень тесно друг к другу на равных, поэтому никаких нет. Да. Да, они просто, говорит, обнялись при шестом этом, и он у него в руках упал. И говорит, что это, что не это, он не винит никого, просто это, как бы просто несчастный случай. Ну вот он ответил, что после этого он 2 боя подряд проиграл, плохо себя очень чувствовал морально, как боец. И только вот через 3 года он сейчас готов снова вернуться. И вот они снова вернулись, было несколько боев. И он вроде бы идет хорошо. Просто вся семья хочет, чтобы это было очень осторожно сделано. No, it's okay, it's okay. You have your work, we understand. The last the fight between Ortiz and Mayweather. What you think about it? I mean, everybody talk about it right now.
You know what? I think boxing fans that were there, that wanted to see Victor win, are upset because Mayweather hit him. Maybe, like they say, a cheap shot. But if you know, if we see the rules and see the fight over, I've seen the fight over, and the ref, you know, took his point away and called the man to fight. You know, it's protect yourself all the times. You know, Victor came up to him one more time to hug him. He had already done that once. You know, how many times does he want to do it? You know, you're in a fight. You know, you just headbutted somebody intentionally, and it was a bad headbutt. You know, it was bad. It opened his lip. It could have you know, opened his eyes if it would land, if it would have hit there. It could have you know, broke his nose if it would have landed his nose. So we don't know what could happen. That was intentional. So Mayweather was mad. You know, you hug him, you kiss him, and then you want to do it again. Well, in reality, it is a boxing fight. You know, it's a fight. You gotta know that, you know, you did something bad against somebody. So expect, you know, him to be mad at you. So Mayweather, I don't blame him. You know, I don't blame him for what he did. I think that it would have been really bad if he would have done it without the headbutt. You know, something like that. Maybe it's not sportsmanship. Maybe my fighters won't do that, or maybe I would have never done it when I was fighting. But after the headbutt that Victor gave him, and it wasn't the only one. Watch the fight over, and you see like 2 or 3 more headbutts that Victor was trying to give Mayweather. So I don't blame him. And plus, you know, when Mayweather hit him, Victor was happy. After the fight, he was smiling. He was happy. I think he was happy the fight was over. That's what it seemed to me. That's what it seemed like. Can you guys close the door? Close the door, Miguel. Close the door, yeah? Close the door. Keep it closed, right?
Тебе перевести? Ты поняла, что он сказал?
Ага. Следующий вопрос. Значит, они, получается, расставались по рынкам, потом опять поняли, что у них там случилось на самом деле.
Они это кто?
Ну, значит, Нонито Данейро, то есть он работал с Топенко, потом расставался с ним, потом их жена вроде как помирила. Что случилось на самом деле с Топенко?
У него именно. Прямо
Нонито Данейро.
С Фрэнком.
Его боксер.
Я понял. Я немножко просто. Фрэнк это кто?
Топ-рэнк.
Топ-рэнк? Окей.
Они работали с Топ-рэнком.
Okay. Let me translate it word to word because I don't know the story. That's why it's hard for me to understand. She said you was working with a top rank, right? And then you stopped to work with them, then work again, or is it what?
With Nonito, you said?
Yeah, with Nonito. Yeah.
Okay, Nonito has a promotional contract with Top Rank. Under contract, he felt Top Rank had made mistakes in the contract, so he signed with Golden Boy. But after reviewing everything, I did not get too involved. You know, my job is to train my fighters, and I train them, and if they fight for Top Rank, if they fight for Golden Boy, they could fight for Don King, whoever. My job is to train my fighters. I work very comfortable with Top Rank, but I also have fighters with Golden Boy. I could also work with Golden Boy. I could work with any promoter. So if Nonito was to fight with Golden Boy, then I was gonna work with Golden Boy. I have no problem. You know, Oscar De La Hoya. You know, I know him since the amateurs. We trained together. We sparred together many times. So he's my friend. I don't mind working with him. But you know, things didn't work out that way. So he signed. He came back with Top Rank. Top Rank. Did a good re-signed the contract with him and did a great job. So he's happy there now. Again, you know, it's just part of the business. It's just the way business is. It's just everybody goes through that. One promoter wants you, the other one. You know, it happens. It's part of boxing.
Ты перевести немножко?
Да,
потому что это. Ты поняла?
Да, ну ты мне потом еще отдельно перейдешь.
Хорошо.
Значит, следующий вопрос. Вот сейчас будет в Staples Center Файт Доусон и Хопкинс. Что он думает об этом файте?
What are you expecting from a fight in Staples Center between Dawson and Hopkins? What your expectation?
It's
Его прогноз какой?
interesting fight because of Hopkins being 46 and still world champion. That's just unbelievable. It's somebody that I do not follow too much. I do not follow Hopkins' career too much, but what he did at 46, it's something that I admire. I admire what he did, but I don't follow his career. I'm not a big Hopkins fan, but I do admire his career, and it's gonna be a hell of a fight. Chad Dawson is a hell of a fighter. He's very skillful. I don't want to predict anything, but I give Chad Dawson a little bit of an edge. I give him a little bit of an edge because he's younger, he's very skillful, and Hopkins is 46. He any day could be any fight. This fight could be his last.
Could
fight.
be the last one.
You
Huh?
never know because he's already 46, so you never know what could happen. So I give Chad Dawson a little bit of an edge, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hopkins wins. I wouldn't be surprised.
Окей, не надо верить. Значит, смотри, следующий вопрос. Русские издания везде, во многих, интернет.
Сейчас.
Интернет-издания русские пишут, якобы будет матч Ивануши между Окснардом и Ноябрем. Это вообще может быть вообще, по идее?
Do you think, as you know the professional boxing, in Russian boxing newspapers and stuff, everybody talking about the idea between rematch between Ortiz and Mayweather. Do you think it's realistic to expect it or not really?
I don't think so.
No?
I really don't think a rematch will happen. It happens only if Ortiz becomes a world champion again, beats somebody like Andrew Berto or somebody up there, and he could call out for a rematch. But I think a rematch right now won't happen. First of all, the main reason is because we don't know when Mayweather's gonna fight again. It could be 16 months. It could be 18 months. You never know when Mayweather's gonna fight. So in the meantime, Victor has to fight again. Victor will be fighting, and he could, he might become world champion again. Then he might, deserve another rematch. But right now, a direct rematch 3, 4, or 5 months from now, I don't think that will happen.
Значит, спроси, мне очень интересно, кто его любимый боксер из старой партии боксеров, из старого бокса, и современности.
She asked, do you have a boxers you admire, let's say the one whose career already end somebody whose career right now is going, who you feel like you admire as a boxer?
You know what? As boxers that are already retired, or when I was growing up, a boxer that I always admired and looked up to, Sugar Ray Leonard. I used to like the way he fought. Sugar Ray Leonard is one of my favorite fighters. He's always been one of my favorite. Right now, well, I train fighters, so I have to say Brandon Rios, I have to say Nonito Donaire, I have to say Antonio Margarito, Mikey, I have to say, those are my fighters, and they're great fighters. Margarito brings a lot of action into his fights. Brandon is a warrior. Nonito is pound for pound number 4, the best in the world. Mikey is coming up and doing really good. So, I'm in this business, and I train for great fighters. So I think I gotta pick them.
Right.
I could also say, I admire what Pacquiao has done. Pacquiao being a flyweight, going up each division by division and winning titles at welterweight, at super welterweight. Well, yeah, that I have to admire. That's something that we might never see again. We might never see somebody do what Pacquiao is doing right now. But if it comes to having to compare him to my fighters, well, I think my fighters are better. what I mean?
Ты поняла, да? Что он говорит, в прошлом, говорит, из прошлых Sugar Ray, говорит, был всегда моей звездой, я, говорит, всегда одной адмирировал. Но, говорит, из нынешних, конечно же, самые лучшие бойцы, это которых тренирую я, и он всех перечислил, говорит, это. Говорит, я, конечно, Пакьяо, говорит, уважаю, и такое, что он делал, говорит, скорее всего, мы долго еще теперь не увидим, но если по классу бойцов, я, говорит, все равно своих всегда буду ставить выше каких-либо.
Вопрос такой. Значит, много очень пишут в русских изданиях, что якобы Пакьяо принимает какое-то вещество, которое не показывает анализ,
Okay. It's lots of rumors, at least in Russian press, about nobody believes like Pacquiao can really change this weight category that easily, and everybody say he either has some special drug or some way to avoid it. It's not her opinion, she said. She's just saying like it's lots of rumors about it.
Not only in Russia, I think in the whole world, everybody, a lot of people believe.
Здесь также, то есть все.
A lot of people believe that he must be taking something, but
as long as it's no proof, right?
Exactly. You can't charge him for something that you don't have proof. So to me, he's just very talented, and is one of the persons that we won't see in many years. And I just want to believe that everything's clean.
Он говорит, что говорит, поскольку мы не знаем, и никто этого не видел, это не больше, чем слухи. Говорит, вот пусть покажут сначала, что он это делает, тогда, конечно. Говорит, на сегодняшний день это человек, который мог все это сделать, и он по результатам, то есть чистый. То есть, говорит, то есть...
Если бой Мэйвезер и Пакьяо состоялся, как он думает, как он закончился?
Do you think hypothetically the fight between Mayweather and Pacquiao, if it would be in the future, or maybe if it would be in the past, I mean, do you think it's a comparable fighters? Is it? Do you think that her question is sort of like your prediction? Is it possible? And if so, do you think the Pacquiao would be way much?
If that fight ever happens, it's going to be very interesting to watch. Depends on when. If it happens right now, the way Mayweather fights and the way he fights, very defensive. He might win a decision, but we also got to see Pacquiao throws 100 punches every round. So even if he doesn't land that many, but he throws 100 compared to Mayweather that might throw 15 or 20. So I give an edge to Pacquiao right there. He just throws too many punches and he's too fast.
Объясните, sorry,
When we talk about skills,
right.
I think Mayweather is very skilled, more skilled.
Он говорит, он бы проиграл, потому что по своему подготовке Мэйвезер выше, но, говорит, у него defensive, то есть он в защите, он делает до 15 ударов за раунд, Пакьяо делает до 100. И, говорит, он бы проиграл просто по очкам, потому что, говорит, допустим, бы 100 он не попал, он бы попал 50, там 30, но это было бы в 2 раза больше, чем тот вообще делает за раунд. Понимаешь, то есть поэтому...
Слушай, смотри, а вот следующий бой, вот после боя с Мэйвезером, Ортис вообще сможет оправиться, нет? Никогда не закатилась?
Do you believe Ortiz has a future in like his star just on a rise? Do you think, or his fight with Mayweather changed his career by now?
No, I think there's still many fights that he could do, and he could do good. There's the rematch versus Andrew Berto fight again, and it's a fight that makes a lot of sense. There's also the rematch against Marcos Maidana. It makes a lot of sense. There's also Amir Khan. Those fights make a lot of sense, and those are all fights that Victor could win. Victor could beat those guys. Can he ever win the big fight? Maybe not. Maybe against Mayweather, maybe not. But it's still a lot of money. It's still a lot of exposure. So he could do it again. I'm pretty sure. He, like I said, he could fight Berto, Maidana, or Amir Khan. Those are pretty big fights.
То есть у него достаточно партнеров, которые готовы с ним биться, и его карьера как раз идет нормально. Говорит, это все равно большие деньги. Он может быть не такой высоты, как бой с Мейведером, тем не менее все будут отражать, везде будут в газетах, то есть он будет известен. И говорит, более того, и большой шанс, что он выиграет эти бои. То есть, так что, ну, скорее всего, у него еще есть, ну, очень хороший шанс даже.
Ну, пока все.
Okay, looks like thank you very much for your
Не
time.
все. Скажи, тебе у меня есть вопросы к нему помимо интервью.
Okay, should I turn off?
Включай.
Okay.